Okay, so do this thing. They try to make you accept this new reality. As target individual, you have people who want you to accept the new version. Obviously, you see on this side, you see picture of something I've seen many times. Refugees running away from some kind of war, carrying their stuff, little kids walking with them, and typical things we've seen in news. Now I've seen things like that, scenes like that many, 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 many times. But now you can see a little kid, a little girl especially, because at first it was like a little boy, so it's not gonna be bad. It's a little girl, then they can make it worse. Like they make you experience these things. Now I've seen these things 1,000 times. Unfortunately, we know that this is in the news a lot. We see some kind of African war zone where people are walking to another places, holding their kids, babies walking, carrying. They start making me look at this little girl in these disgusting ways. And now, in my memories, they even try to make me experience what I'm experiencing today because of what they do to me. Into my memories when I saw things like that. It's like, oh, but when you was a little girl, that's how you felt. You remember you saw that? It's like, no, you're making me experience this in my memories. You know how many times I've seen these things? Gaslighting is a system, is a tactic to really make somebody doubt their perceptions, reality, and memories. And you hear this trash, right? Who then use their tonality to try to disorient you after obviously knowing that you know that this is falsified. That how many times you've seen this thing? You know damn well that you've seen that enough time to know that this is not naturally happening. You've seen these scenes of people fleeing, refugees walking from one place to another in Africa, carrying their stuff. Kids of all sorts, little babies, little baby girl, little baby boys, little babies in the back. You've seen it all. None of this was experienced before. Now, they're trying to manipulate your memories. They're trying to manipulate your perceptions. And by the way, seeing it all is what they made me say. They can force me to speak because they tell me how I'm going to be tortured. For the theater. So they want you to accept this nastiness and be like, oh, they're going to torture you. They're going to cut your eye. They're going to remove your whole eye and everything. So listen, all of these horrible things, I understand. This is coming from people who wanted to create a facade. They wanted to leave a facade. You know the frustration of somebody who wants you to accept a reality that's falsified, but you're not subscribing to it? I laugh at it because I see what you're trying to do. This is gaslighting 101. Make this person accept this perception. And I'm laughing at it. It's like, oh, they're going to be laughing. Because I'm like, I know it's you guys doing this to me. This is the things that you do. I know why these people are trying to disorient me as I'm speaking right now. What they do, because I'm talking about the gaslighting methods of trying to get you to accept this new version of perception that they force you to acquire, to experience, sorry. This new perception of seeing things in these disgusting ways and being forced to be stimulated by this trash that can manipulate your libidos and your perceptions. They want you to accept these things, and you hear this bottom feeder whose job is trying to get you to accept this, disorient you. Even me, what I said was like manipulated because they want me to have a creative, they want to create a battle in my mind. I'm not going to let them live their fantasy. They're a bunch of pedophiles. Because you know yourself, and you know them well when you saw this, you're not getting this nasty stimulations. But now, because these people can manipulate you to perceive things in pedophilia ways, to get stimulated in these pedophilia ways, they're trying to get you to accept these things. In my mind, you know what they're trying to create this battle? They try to say, no, before you didn't see it that way because you couldn't understand the way you were seeing was this way. Renounce for these pedophilia things. They're delusional. And they call this being a war. No, this is what they do. This is systematic. Thankfully, you're going to listen to things you listened to before. You're going to be pushed to think in these disgusting ways. Listen to these testimonies like you've listened before. And tell me, the way I'm seeing this, is it naturally? Or is what's happening just like the others? And by the way, the facade, a bunch of female of some sort, Listen to this woman talking about there's a lot of women doing this, a lot of females. Listen to the fact that these people try to make you perceive kids in this way. The agencies running this show, contracting these bottom feeders. Look at the pedophiles involved in these things. And they want you to look, oh, did you see that? The way we just made you look at the way. It's like, no, you're forcing me. Making me just look at this kid's little shoulder and try to create something. Oh, it's nasty. I want you to accept these things. And you hear these bottom feeders, these losers, who find this successful because there's nothing he, as a civilian, you can do but experience this nastiness, the way they force you to experience things in these pedophile ways. Try to get you to accept these things. Saying things to try to disorient you. I know I have no choice to experience the things that make me experience. That's what's gonna happen. They're like, wait for the torture you're gonna experience. I'm like, wait for the theater. They're like, they're gonna film it, they're gonna torture. It's like, yes, this is for the theater. Cinema. Theatrics. To make it seem like, oh God, this, you see, we're not doing the pedophilia thing. We just made him look at things the way he should. Yeah, they do the pedophilia type of torture. They've been renowned to doing the pedophilia type of torture. Ways. Listen to it before. You're gonna be pushed to think in these disgusting ways. Listen to these testimonies like you've listened before. And tell me, the way I'm seeing this, is it naturally? Or is what's happening just like the others? And by the way, the facade, a bunch of female of some sort. Listen to this woman talking about there's a lot of women doing this, a lot of females. Listen to the fact that these people try to make you perceive kids in this way. The agencies running this show, contracting these bottom feeders. Look at the pedophiles involved in these things. And they want you to look, oh, did you see that? The way we just made you look at the way. It's like, no, you're forcing me. Making me just look at this kid's little shoulder and try to create something. Oh, it's nasty. I want you to accept these things. And you hear these bottom feeders, these losers, who find this successful because there's nothing he, as a civilian, you can do but experience this nastiness, the way they force you to experience things in these pedophile ways. Try to get you to accept these things. Saying things to try to disorient you. I know I have no choice to experience the things that make me experience. That's what's gonna happen. They're like, wait for the torture you're gonna experience. I'm like, wait for the theater. They're like, they're gonna film it, they're gonna torture. It's like, yes, this is for the theater. Cinema. Theatrics. To make it seem like, oh God, this, you see, we're not doing the pedophilia thing. We just made him look at things the way he should. Yeah, they do the pedophilia type of torture. They've been renowned to doing the pedophilia type of torture. And in my mind, they try to create a battle of the most nonsensicalness. It's like, now before you don't understand that you go sing like that, but we kind of made you understand that you're singing like that. But we kind of, because they forced me to get stimulation and sensation when I look at this kid. Trash. Till my target video, stay strong. Because these pedophiles, and you know why I call them pedophiles, will try to get you to accept. And this nastiness, these perceptions falsified, manipulating your brain, and try to gaslight you to accept, oh, no, that's how you always saw things. Then manipulate your memories. So stay strong and know that justice will be done.
Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female?
I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent.
I just can't take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Also a form of sensory deprivation which will be discussed later. Days and weeks lose their meaning. 6. Sexually disturbing tailored pornography. The summary of the Senate torture report disclosed the disgusting revelations that in the secret torture derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes.
Involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre and so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number 1, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number 2, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?